Hello everybody and welcome back to Spellweaver. So, frankly, what I kinda wanted to do today, and to be honest for the entire December, was to make December a rating race month. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, how do we stand right now? Yeah, as you can see, I've got ranked again. This is because I have actually played and lost, as you can probably tell, a ranked game. Although I have managed to play only one ranked game before I lost it. Because apparently ranked games are doing very similarly to trials now, which means fucking wait eternity to get a game. And yeah, it's like I can wait one eternity, but not two. So, technically speaking, I kinda abandoned this idea, and we had a pretty interesting stuff happen over the past week or so. Namely, the new cards are being showed up, the new cards that we will get available in the with the mobile release. So I figured out, yeah, it's like, why don't we talk a little bit about them? We've got 4 cards out of the 7 that are supposed to come up, if I recall correctly. So without further ado, let's get to them. The first card we have is the new Shrine, the theoretical Trigon counterpart, the Pandemonium of Darkness. Oh boy. Now, what a controversial card that is. So once again, it's a spell shrine, and instead of giving you a dual levels in aspects of evil, just as probably everyone expected the counter Trigon to be, you have to sacrifice 1 level of any color, and for that you can get 2 levels of either of the evil aspects. So either 2 black, 2 green, 2 red, or 2 purple. Corruption, Rage, Dominion. Why I started with Corruption, I don't know, just because. And technically it's a Corruption card itself. Yeah, first of all, 3 levels to play it. Insane. Okay, that will be very difficult to play. Not to mention, yeah, they are all Corruption levels. There is no any levels in there. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. There is no no colorless levels in there, so you have to go all Corruption if you want to play it. So it kinda restricts the Pandemonium to purely the Corruption decks. Like technically, you could still use Pandemonium in more of a Rage and Dominion situations. But let's take a look at a Trigon for a sec. Actually, I don't remember how Trigon works. Yeah, but you see, Trigon requires only 1 level in Order. And you're getting the dual levels that are, much more powerful than whatever the Pandemonium offers. And you need only 1, so it's like, in a worst case scenario, even if you're not really planning to use this as a spell, but rather use it as a shrine, and you're not really building any order, which frankly using I don't recall any Trigon decks that will be purely Wisdom Nature. Yeah, largely because it doesn't make sense if you're running Trigon. Getting to the 3rd aspect is so easy that it's stupid not to take benefit from this. Not to mention that after all the upgrades, that happened with the Holy Child, Order itself is like, 1 step beyond every other aspect in the game. I'm not saying that it is the best aspect in the game as of yet, because I would clearly say that, before the Child of Light corruption was like one notch above every other aspect in the game, because corruption was freaking powerful, and actually it's still pretty powerful. So, you know, I would risk saying that they kind of got on a more or less equal level. But yeah, out of all the things, ignoring order in the Trigon decks, yeah, not really making much sense. But with the Pandemonium, if it had any sort of more reasonable level requirements, using them in like pure Rage Dominion decks would make some sense. I'm not saying that it would make a lot of sense, but at least some sense. But with this setup, yeah, you have to go corruption, you have to go corruption heavy. Of course, Pandemonium itself kinda helps with going this corruption heavy. Yet, you cannot really treat Pandemonium as this pure gain 2 levels. You sacrifice 1 level. So if you sacrifice 1 level to get 2 levels, in the end you get only 1 bonus level, so what's the point? Not to mention the cost of the spell. Like, you know, aside from the mana cost and the level requirements, which are really insane and make playing Pandemonium as a spell nearly impossible, restricting it only to half-useful Shrine, you know, let's delve into the effects of this card, because frankly I really like this effect. So the enemy hero loses 1 life for each of your levels in aspect of evil. You gain that much life. So that's basically glorified Succubus on steroids. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And with the effect on Pandemonium being as it is, and with the effect of one of the new cards we'll get to in a second being very similar, I think we should really get something. We should really get a keyword, Drain, or Drain X. Yeah, which basically is Drain X. Enemy hero loses X health, you gain X health. And then we could like slowly start and spread this keyword amongst other creatures. Although, you know, I'm really doubtful about the keywords, and we'll get to keywords a little bit more in a second. But let's get back to crafting for a second, because I was browsing some cards recently. And I was thinking, like, reach. We have the keyword of reach. Look how many cards have a keyword of reach too. 1 Grove Sentinel and 1 Master Hunter. Do we really need this? Honestly. Like, I'm not saying that the keyword of reach is bad keyword. It's a pretty nice keyword. It's a useful keyword, but I think it's underused. If we go to Protected, I'm not actually sure, but it will be something similar. Protected. So we have Temple Guard that is protected by default. We have Namir's Blessing that gives you protected, and we have Amalric that gives protected. So it's already 3 cards that are kind of related to the to the keyword. And of course there is also Felix that is still not made to be protected, even though it should be made protected, because even if you right click on Felix, it describes protected in his freaking tooltips. So it doesn't make sense to not list protected on him. How much easier would it be to just say, as long as Felix is on the support line, it is protected. Period. Or it gets protected. Or whatever. Nope, it has to have it all spelled out, because apparently it's way too difficult to change text on 1 card for Dream Reactor. But whatever, I'm not gonna keep complaining about this, because I've been complaining about this for like half a year now or so, or basically ever since keyword protected was introduced. Oh, and one more keyword that exists largely for the sake of existing, I guess. Is unblockable, which technically exists only on Elf Commander and can be granted from the Power Spike armor again. Just like Reach, there are only 2 cards that have the unblockable keyword. Yet, we made a freaking keyword out of it, and we cannot make a keyword out of Drain. It would already have 3 cards working for it. Unless I'm forgetting something. Yeah, but whatever. Let's get back to the new cards, shall we? So yeah, Pandemonium should drain. That would make it easier. That would make it more reasonable. But whatever. Yeah, all in all, mediocre shrine. I'm not really fond of it. Many people are not fond of it. Many people suggested that it would be way better as a reverse Trigon, whereas it will give you one evil dual level, and then its ability would be like attached to an enemy creature. This creature gets -1/-1. It would make some sense. Would it be better? Yeah, then we definitely have to include the clause that also some people were... It's like I will be referring to some people a lot today, because I really don't remember who said what there. So I'm not gonna bring any names just to don't mix people up. But definitely, what was I? Oh yeah, definitely with evil dual levels, we'd have to include the clause that you cannot have both good dual levels and evil dual levels, because then that would be insane. You could make like all level decks way too easily. Not to mention that, you know, just combining a four levels to evil to good, like skipping one good one evil level, you would be able to do insane stuff. Yeah, but Pandemonium as it is right now, yeah, it's not too good. Although I largely see with all the other cards that will be popping up soon, I kind of see where they are going with it. The problem is it's not really that much beneficial for the sake, as I said, I see where this is going, because you will see with the upcoming cards, you will see that the whole point of the Pandemonium being as it is that the DR is trying to impose on us players a new kind of high-level meta. They're going for a lot of effects that depend on having a lot of levels. And, well, I guess that's the way they are trying to achieve it. I don't think this is the best way, but whatever. Yeah, I guess I will say this once more. You cannot gain that many levels if you have to sacrifice a level every level to get a level. In the end of the day, Pandemonium gives you only one level. Yeah, because you have to sacrifice a level, so it's not really giving you 2 levels. It's a huge fake. You know, maybe if you didn't have to sacrifice a level, that would be a little bit more interesting choice. You know, frankly, I've seen people saying that it's actually not that bad because it allows you to go for the element of surprise, where you can, for example, run a deck with no Dominion whatsoever, and then suddenly out of nowhere you pop Pandemonium, you sacrifice one of your levels, you gain 2 levels in Dominion, and then you can play a surprise Cataclysm to wipe the board, or like Helm to take control of something overpowered in your opponent's end, etc, etc. You know, that is something, but that's not really useful. I'm sorry, and as I said, no. Simply no. You're not getting that many levels, and getting levels is the key here. Too expensive, requires too much, not worth it. Anyway, let's get to the second card. The second new card we're getting will be a Harbinger of Sorrows. And oh my god, what a card it is. So, first of all, we get this new keyword introduced, and this is why I was going so mad about the keywords before. Because we are getting new keyword introduced here, and spoiler alert, all the new cards after this one will have this keyword. First of all, Tainted. When this creature enters the field, lose 3 life unless you have at least 3 levels in Aspects of Evil. We all know what Aspects of Evil are. Once again, you see, this is kind of pushing this to the limit. You want to have a lot of evil aspects when you play the new creatures. Oh, spoiler alert, crap, they will all be creatures. That's the problem, like, could we reword Tainted to affect not only creatures, but maybe be, you know, usable on spells and stuff? That would be interesting, and it wouldn't be that much change. Because you would just change when this creature enters the field, you would just play, you would just say when this card enters the field. I'm pretty sure it would still count for cards that, like Fireball, they are just casted and then go straight to the grave. I think it would work. But regardless. First of all, yeah, that's a really interesting effect, but honestly, I would love to see this work as a Tainted X. With something along the lines when these creatures enters the field lose X life unless you have at least 3 levels. Or vice versa, when these creatures enters the field lose 3 life unless you have at least X levels in Aspects of Evil. I'm not 100% sure which one would be better. Like, if DR is really willing to push the idea of grind all the levels that hard, then I guess the second version would make sense. Personally, I think that still getting that many levels is way too difficult. So you should rather stick with varying health loss you would have on different creatures. Like, if you'd have something more powerful, let's say, you know, well, maybe not something along the lines of a Dread Knight, but something more along the lines of Zombie Giant, I guess, for example. So something pretty tough, you know, a lot of health, a lot of damage, only 1 level required to play, moderate cost, and then it's tainted like Tainted 5. Lose 5 life unless you have 3 levels in Aspects of Evil. You know, that would make a trade-off because, you know, you're putting a very powerful card that would, you know, really help you. But there is a price to it. With the way it is, as it is right now, it's like, I don't really see the Harbinger of Sorrow as a card worthwhile playing if I have only 2 levels. Okay, it has a decent blocking potential. With 4 health, it's pretty tough. With 2 attack, it can wreck most of the low tier attackers. Yeah, but aside from that, not really much to it. Well, there is the thing's special ability, where Harbinger of Sorrows enters the field, summon X Enchained Souls onto the field, where X is the half the amount of life you lost this turn rounded up. Oh my god, now all the things that are wrong with it. So my initial idea when I saw this was to go into crafting and search for everything that makes me lose life. Lose. So what? Jaw rail? No. Car? No. Hunting? Get close. Oh, that's interesting. Well, we have Coronis, the first choice. So I would be losing 2 life every turn, or every 2 turns, to spawn me some Soul Ravens. But then at the end of the day, I will be getting only 1 more, whatever it is called, 1 Enchained Soul for every Soul Raven spawned with Coronis, and I'll be losing 2 life. Not kinda cutting it. Well, Soul Flames. This is a nice way to, you know, combine these two together. Because, you know, if I were to use Soul Flames to wreck some very powerful enemy creature, it is good. It's decent. I could see it work. Then it's Catador's Beating. Yeah, I don't think it really would work. Then again, there is the Nephoros, the second one I really thought about. So you will lose 2 life, and then you can return a creature that died this turn from a graveyard onto the field. That's something. You know, Nephoros' ability is pretty powerful, and it has a cost to it, but again, it's only 2 life, so you won't be getting that many of those souls. There is the Abhorrent Ghoul, which, frankly, you won't be playing them that late. At least that's just my opinion. Like, later on in the game, where you will be you have already taken some damage, you won't be putting more Abhorrent Ghouls to lose more life to them. Although, one interesting thing someone said, there was this, what was it called? Oh yeah, that Abhorrent Ghouls effect should be changed to Tainted. And frankly, I don't think it should. Because the whole idea about Abhorrent Ghouls is that you can put the weakness emblems on them. And with Tainted, they would totally lose the weakness emblems. So later on, they will be like, you know, as I said, later on, if you have already taken some damage and you don't really have that much healing, and frankly, if you're running Mono Corruption, you probably don't have that much healing, and you depend more on killing your opponent before they kill you, it will be problematic to handle more full-powered abhorrent ghouls. If they were just tainted, if you already got to your 3 levels, then you would be just popping abhorrent ghouls like crazy and not giving a damn about it. Curse of Risha doesn't work. Okay, so Dark Portal. This is one card it might work in a pretty decent conjunction with. Because you lose life equal to the Dark Portal's energy at the start of your turn. How interesting. And then you can draw that demon for free. So, because the Harbinger of Sorrow is a demon, it's a demon spirit actually. I wasn't sure about the second part, but it's a demon. So yeah, this is like a nice aid for the Dark Portals deck. But frankly, this is like the only thing it's really doing. Because other than that, well, there is Scourge, which makes you lose 2 life. But again, it's only 2 life. And in the end of the day, I figured out that the only reasonable use for Harbinger of Sorrows would be in 2 cases. It would be either case 1, you double drop that thing, so you get twice as many Enchained Souls and then it makes some sense. Or in other case, you go with Chalice of Yanks in the dual Corruption Dominion deck. So you can potentially get some more health from Chalice after sacrificing all these souls. Because let's face it, you will never be able to heal yourself enough compared to the damage you've taken. It's like, it's not even possible, like, going to the overheal is totally out of the subject. You will never be able to get overhealed from that. Like, you would have to play at least 3 of them in a row, which will be nearly impossible. Yeah, at least that's what I think. I mean, you would have to take a very, very long game and then take some significant damage very, very late in the game, and then still have like 9 mana remaining to play all of those, and be at least 3 levels. Because if you are below 3 levels and you play this shit, you're basically killing yourself. And frankly, I would love to see Harbinger of Sorrow has his ability trigger at the end of your turn, rather than when he enters the field. Oh, one more thing I forgot about it. You know where it could be kinda useful? In a Rage Corruption decks running Burke. Because Burke, he takes damage from attacking the creatures. Up to 2 enemy creatures on the front line. They deal damage to Burke equal to their ATK. So you could use Burke. You could rush Burke, attack your opponent, then drop the Harbinger of Sorrows, and then heal yourself at least partially for what you've lost trying to kill the opponent creatures. And that's basically all that thing does. It's not healing you per se. It's just giving you a little bit more sustain, a teeny tiny bit of sustain. But very slim, and in my opinion, not enough. I would really love to see it be at least 75% of the damage taken. It's like, I can kind of see why DR doesn't really want to go full-fledged with it, and they don't want to heal you for entire damage you've taken. But at the same time, you know, that's just not enough. So I am not 100% fond of Harbinger of Sorrows as well. Anyway, let's get to the next card, which is a Cold-Hearted Paladin. 3 mana, 1 order level, 1 neutral level, and again it is tainted. Now this is weird because we are having a good card that you have to go in conjunction with evil. The stats are pretty solid on that one. With 2 attack and 2 health, sorry, it's pretty average by default, but it has 3 speed, which is great, and the best thing is that it gets +1 attack, +1 HP for each of your levels in Aspects of Evil. So if you do run a heavy evil deck with 1 order level just for the sake of dropping this guy and maybe a couple other cards in the order section that you might need, you can get this guy to a very powerful, very fast, really annoying card that would be really difficult to deal with. And then there is the second part, where whenever Cold-Hearted Paladin destroys a creature, you gain 1 life for each of your levels in Aspects of Good. The enemy hero loses that much life. So again, it is a drain effect. Now, it is drain effect whenever you kill a creature, and it depends on your good levels. So, frankly, balancing this shit out will be insane. Because you would need some good levels, some evil levels. You would like as much evil levels to make it as powerful as possible, but at the same time, you would like as much good levels to drain as much health as possible, etc., etc. All in all, it's an interesting card. And frankly, I think out of all the cards that were shown so far, this is the most balanced card. This is something that I would definitely try to include in a deck. And there are many potential decks you could include it in. Like, I was really thinking, good thing it's a knight, not a soldier, because if it was a soldier, it would be so insane. Combine it with the Rage Alexa soldiers, Aggro Alexa soldiers, then you would shift it to the to corruption a little bit. Add the power of corruption, add the corruption soldiers, which is zombie legionnaires. They are soldiers. Then, of course, you would couple it with the cemetery thing. I forgot. What is it called? Yeah, the card I love so much. Tombs of the Damned! Not cemetery, but tombs. Close enough. To spawn even more soldiers, then of course you're running it on basic Alexa, so you're spawning a lot of militia. Guards to spawn even more militia. Of course you're spawning a lot of the Master Tacticians, if I recall the name correctly. Yep, Master Tacticians. And you get an insanely overpowered board. Could be. I mean, it still works. Although with... you could still include him in the soldier deck. Like, soldier decks often run knights as well. Makes sense. Overall good card. Not too overpowered. Pretty balanced. I like it. Frankly, I do like this card. Again, I would like to see this reworked to the... I would like to see the effect reworked to the drain, and I would like to see the taint working as a taint X. And for this guy, I would reduce it to be like taint 2, lose 2 life unless you have 3 levels in Aspects of Evil. Or something like this. But whatever. The one last card that we get included in the latest... well, not one last card included in the latest expansion, but the last card that we get shown that will be included in the latest... it won't be an expansion. But the last card that we've been shown, the last new card we've been shown, is the Catacomb Keeper. 3 mana, 1 wisdom level, 3 attack, 3 health, 2 speed, and again, tainted. Yeah, I don't like it. I'll be honest with you, I don't like it. So when Catacomb Keeper enters the field, draw a card for each of your levels in Aspects of Evil, and discard a card for each of your levels in Aspects of Good. Seriously, do we really need more draw in Wisdom? Well, I guess we need. And I would really be questioning, do you really need a Catacomb Keeper to draw? If you are doing Wisdom anyway in your Evil deck, you can use the draw 3 cards thing, whatever it was called, Ancient Wisdom, you can use the freaking genes that are faster, library guards, that are faster than that thing. You can do all the other things, and frankly, do you really need that much draw? This is what I'm asking. And again, it happens only when he enters the field, so basically, he enters the field, you either take or don't take damage. You get some card, you discard some card, and that's all. And then you have a 3-3 body, which is pretty boring. Like, frankly, compared to other 3-3 bodies, it's relatively okay. Like, if we take the Master Vanguard, I believe that's what it's called. Elite Vanguard. Okay, it's 3-3 2 speed, but it has it's cheaper but requires more levels. Will I take Elite Vanguard over the Catacombs Keeper? I guess I will. Like, frankly, I don't really see the Catacombs Keeper effect as that powerful. And really not that worthwhile. Take a look at Felix Lightsword. 3-3 2 speed. 1 level, 3 mana, so that's basically the same. Much more useful effect? Yes, it is. Much more useful effect. Not to mention he can grow stronger in the future. Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look at other 3-3s. The Reincarnation Spirit. I mean, we could technically count it as 3-3. Like, you can play it for free from your graveyard. And it's not only flying, then it gets to 3-3, it's Might Emblem. Yeah, that's kind of cheating to count it as 3-3. Still, I'm not sure how is the Dominion doing with 3-3s. Yeah, those 3-3s like Namir or Master Tactician, they are getting in the much more expensive territory, but they are much more powerful on their own anyway. Frankly, I don't see many. So that might be a thing. That Wisdom lacked a solid 3-3 body. I'm not sure about it. Well, they don't have really a 3-3 body. Well, there is the Still Sentient, but that is expensive. Spectral Right theoretically works as a 3-3. Although you can boost it past the point of 3-3. Well, about evil aspects. Well, Rage is going ahead on health, ahead on damage, and kinda lags behind on health. I'm not sure about Dominion. I don't recall anything like that. And frankly, I play like the most Dominion recently. Well, there are Northern Wanderers that beat it, especially if you don't have anything else. I mean, only if you don't have anything else, but... well, there is Bloodwell Elite. Has an additional cost, but it's much faster. You know, technically, well... But it requires 2 levels. The thing requires only 1 level. But you know, it has the additional cost if you don't have 3 more levels. So technically, if we take the Taint into the equation, then Bloodwell Elite is much better choice. Blood-Seeking Mutant can easily get to 3-3. Much better choice. I'm not really convinced about it. I don't really see a use for this card. Abhorrent Ghoul is a better 3-3. Like, you would have to sacrifice 3 life either way if you want to play them early. So you will be sacrificing 3 life. Then, again, Abhorrent Ghoul, you know, is cheaper. Well, doesn't require less levels, but it's cheaper, is slower. You know, and this is why I'm saying that I would love to see Taint X effect rather than Flood Taint, because it doesn't really make that much sense. Like, really, even if you could argue that the Cold-Hearted Paladin could have stayed with losing 3 life, because then it can regain the life for you. And, you know, that Harbinger of Sorrows, you know, it can be tainted for 3 because, again, it's giving you Enchained Souls that give you life. The Catacomb Keeper has nothing going for it. You just lose life, period. Or you're sitting at 4 levels for no apparent reason. No, I'm not buying it. I really see no use in Catacomb Keeper. All in all, I don't think we're getting anywhere good with these cards. Still waiting to see the rest of the cards. I think there should be 3 more if I recall correctly. And we'll see where this gets us. What else to say? I don't know. I'm pissed off. Like, I've just finished doing a quest to win 3 quick games with Nature Hero yesterday. I log in today and I'm getting this quest. I'm so freaking angry because the other quest on Nature is like some totally BS quest for like 1,000 gold or something like this. And I was like, yeah, not worth it. I will struggle with Nature a little bit more. Also, I built a couple of new decks. Well, a couple. I'm not sure. I definitely built Mono Brutal Soldiers, which is yet another variation on the Order Soldiers on basic Alexa. Not 100% satisfied with it, but it's pretty decent. I think it needs a little bit more tweaking, but I'm not sure where and how. So I decided I will play a little bit more with it and figure what to tweak, because it definitely needs tweaking. I'm just not sure where. And I think the RC Vamp Assault, I'm not sure when I built it, but basically RC Vamp Assault is a really interesting concept deck I've been working about. Trying to get as much damage as possible by combining the +1 attack for every creature from Vampirism and +1 attack for every creature from Massive Assault to give you insane attack on all your creatures plus a bonus insane healing. Although again, I think it requires a little bit more tweaking. Yeah, it's running 3 Cathedrals of the Night for the weakness emblems and additional healing. It's running Cloning Vase because it is kind of low on creatures, but at the same time it's also running the 4 Power Surges for additional mana. Not for draws this time. I've been playing this deck and I've been quite often playing the Power Surges below the draw a card line, and I've been really satisfied with the outcomes, especially if you already have a Cloning Vat or 2 on the field. Playing those early is really beneficial. Nice deck. And I don't think I made it last time. Is there anything new? I don't think so. RC Slaves. Not sure what it is. Not sure when I built it. Well, I definitely don't have all the Jackeries that I need for it. Do I lack anything else? 1 Forced Labor? Question mark? Other than that, I should have everything. 1 Cathedral of the Night. No, I lack of course, I forgot I lack Champions of the Revolt. And 1 Cathedral of the Night. And all Jackeries. Yep, I have 0. That sucks. That's a good card. I'd like it. I'd trade my Rygons for that. Anyway, yeah. It's like I didn't want to do the rating race today because if we're gonna wait an eternity for a ranked game, I'm not doing it. Anyway, yeah. Hope you enjoyed. That was fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. More cards? Maybe. Some games? Probably. Hopefully. Definitely. Well, not definitely. Hopefully. Anyway, that will be it for today. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Take care.